We're back on Lutherans Alive with Michelle Kunkle, Director of Christian Education and Youth Ministry at Holy Trinity Irwin. Michelle, thanks again for being here.
Certainly.
Before the break, we were talking a bit about the strengths of rotation Sunday school and experiential learning. I was also impressed with your mention of having 2 adult Sunday school classes or education classes, Bible study. How would you characterize them? And have they always had 2 classes, or is that a recent development?
This is their 10th anniversary of having the second class. And it started off, the aim that came before me was interested in having a young adult class. So they found someone interested to bridge the gap between the youth Sunday school and then the adult Sunday school. And when she started teaching it, it became kind of a phenomenon, and a few people, younger parents and things like that, were interested in talking about what's happening in our world today and how that affects their faith. And so that class sprung from there. And the adult forum class had been talking about how people themselves develop their faith. And so it kind of branched off in 2 different directions, but it still is their own faith walk in the world today.
For some of our viewers that might be thinking, gee, it would be a nice thing to get an adult class started in my congregation, or to get a group of people together to try something like that. What would you suggest for folks who are trying to get something up and running for the first time?
Well, I think you always have to look first at the people you're trying to reach. Oftentimes people try to put a program together that they think would be interesting, but it might not interest others. So personally, I've always surveyed people and asked them, what is it that you'd like to talk about, or what is it that you'd like to see as a group? And oftentimes, depending on how it's set up, they might be interested in it. So that's why the contemporary adult is interesting in one facet, or the adult forum is interesting to another group. And each group has probably about 14 to 20 students in it. And it's wonderful to offer something that the people would be interested in. And I think the passion of the teacher, so whoever you get to lead it, is also very important, because our teachers really reach out to the people in their classes, and they're very interested in their lives. They email them throughout the week. They pray for their families and things like that. So I think that's the key in getting the people involved, is find out what they want to learn about, and also have that passion to teach them and to learn with them and walk with them in faith.
You mentioned emailing and internet. There are a lot of ways to stay in touch or to get connected in this day and age than, I guess, at any other time. That's also a good place for resources, isn't it? As a director of Christian education, what's the wide range of resources that you have at your disposal to do your job?
Oh yes, we have a great amount of resources. Our church has become more technical over the past few years. We've created a database with church members and ages, and so I'm able to celebrate baptism dates in Sunday school and remind them of their baptism that way. I'm able to surf the internet a lot, and I get a lot of coloring pages, and we use the Celebrates from Sundays in Season. For we have little bags for the children when they come to Sunday services. We pull out coloring pages and mazes and games and all kinds of stuff from the internet that helps to tell the story or facilitate something we've learned.
What's the size of the Sunday school at Holy Trinity these days? Sometimes I think when you have an active and running program, it's easier to sustain it and maintain it.
Yes, it is. We offer Sunday school from age 4 through 6th grade, and that's our rotation base. We have about 25 to 30 students that come regularly. And then on our youth group Sunday school, that's grades 7 through 12. And we have probably about 11 to 15 kids that come average. And then we have our 2 adult classes, the contemporary adult and the adult forum, and they average probably about 14 to 20 per Sunday.
Sounds like good participation.
It is.
Yeah. In terms of the youth ministry, are you left to your own devices there as well in terms of program for generating what the young people might get involved in? Or is there an actual curriculum or a long-term plan for what the youth will be exposed to or participate in?
Well, I was very blessed that I came into the situation where the youth were already meeting weekly, and we had a good base that were already there. So whenever I came in, I would play a game with them. We have a little bit of a Bible study, so each week when we meet, we talk about something from the Bible. And I often ask the kids if there's anything that they'd like to learn about or hear about. And right now we're doing a study in Revelation because one of our youth was interested in it. So we spent Lent talking about Revelation. And I usually offer some kind of game or fun, and then they have their free time. And we've also been very blessed in our congregation that they provide a youth room. So we have a refrigerator with snacks, and we have a pool table and some couches. And so it's a very comfortable atmosphere for the youth to hang out and have a good time, but also serves as a classroom as well so that we can sit down on the couches and have a good discussion. And they are very faithful children, so they have really good discussions whenever we talk about the Bible. And we end our evening with what's called candle power. And I learned that from Camp Lutheran.
Okay.
And we gather together in a circle, we light a candle, and we discuss some personal items if anybody has any concerns or thoughts. And we put those all in prayers at the end, and we pray together. And that's how we close our evening.
Sounds like a really vibrant and thriving group, and that's a good way to keep them together. A lot of times where churches are located don't always coincide with the school districts and things in the area. It is time for us to take a break, but when we get back, maybe we can talk a little bit about the benefits and the challenges of where your church is located.
Certainly.
I'll be right back.